Hey there, good morning, and welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. This is a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So today is Sunday, of course, and so we're doing the first episode of the week, which is this week, episode number 36. I've got 4 regular shows, one What's New planned, and then of course the series, which will have six more battles in round 2 and 1 battle to start round 3. So coming up, we'll just go on with the show now. Just had a momentary lapse of reasoning there for a second. Anyways, I think it's because I'm wearing my glasses and some of the view is blurry and some of it's not so blurry. So anyways, we'll do our normal shows starting tonight, of course, with Ben's album challenge. There was a little bit of confusion, mostly on my part. For some reason, some of the times when Ben sends me a album to listen to and I listen to it, then I don't have time to finish it. I go back in to listen to it again and I can't find it and I don't know where it goes. I think my email puts it somewhere where it's not supposed to be. It could be in my draft. Who knows where it is, I look around for it. If I don't find it right away, then I just send him a message. It's just easy enough for him to resend it to me. This week I wasn't sure what we had decided. I remember the album. He sent me it again. I remember the link, and I actually listened to the album, but I didn't remember. I didn't remember anything about it, and then I thought, okay, well maybe this other one was supposed to be it. So anyways, we had our conversation, and he resent it to me. So we're going to be doing the one he sent me because I think I've already listened to it once. So I want to get into it a little more. The band is called Harmonium. I believe they're French. I don't know if they're French-Canadian or they're French. But either way, they're French. The album is Sion Avant d'un cinéma Salsium. I think that's how it's pronounced. But when I do it, I'll have the correct pronunciation. And it's from 1975. A progressive rock album. I'm almost sure of it. So we'll be doing that for Ben's album challenge on Sunday. On Monday night, also going to be doing maybe the first ever progressive rock album, at least the one that started everything moving in that direction. This one, the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper. This is a classic, great album. I bought this album as part of my, it'll be part of my hauls this month. So I now have 8 Beatle albums. This one is a good one. I like most of the stuff on here. It's very psychedelic. So we'll be doing that for our look back at a classic rock album this week. I wanted to do something progressive, but also a little bit psychedelic. I'm getting ready for probably the launch of my psychedelic snack, which I'm thinking will come as soon as this series ends. I'm not sure because I have another series to go next month, and the battle ones take longer than any of the other series, but they still take a bit of time to do research on. So, and I'm thinking that there may not be any more series till the fall, basically because summertime's extremely busy. And the series, like I said, take up a lot of time. I need to get more sleep as well. And I think I want to do some projects that aren't related to doing something every day. So I may not have any until the fall. For me, that'll be probably in October or maybe September, October, November. The winter time seems to be a little bit more relaxed and easier for me to do these things. So I haven't made up my mind yet, but that's probably the route I'm going to take. Then the next series up, of course, is Wednesday Night Favorites, and so I'm preparing myself to do my top 25 Australian bands. I don't think I'm ready yet. It's grown exponentially over the course of this battle and last battle, with Ben's album challenge, with there being pretty close to the number of Australian bands I like to actually do this thing. I don't want to throw any dead weight at the bottom just because I want to do a filler. I'm not into fillers, so when I think I got enough, that's when it'll come. But it's getting close. I know some of you have been waiting for this because I've done the American one, the Canadian one, and the British one. and the European ones to come as well. But the Australian one is the one I want to do next, and I want to be ready for it, and I'm not quite ready for it yet, but I'm getting close. I do, so this week we'll be doing the top 10 songs of Fleetwood Mac. This is a band that I'm not deep into. I don't listen to much of the stuff from the Peter Green era or for the Bob Welsh era. I never got into that. It's not that it isn't good, I just haven't gotten into it, so I can't do a top 10 based on that. So if you're looking for me to include songs from that in it, probably not going to happen. Most of the stuff will come from the Buckingham era, if you want, or Stevie Nicks era, if you prefer to call it that. The Buckingham Nicks era, we'll call it. So a lot of this, they have a lot of tracks. Most of the stuff fall within a 3 to 4 album range. It's not going to be a huge spread across the discography thing. It's only the ones I've listened to, so I can't really do anything other than that. But I wanted to do something for them because of the passing of Christine McVie. I wanted to do it earlier, but I didn't feel I was ready for it. So I think I'm ready enough to do it, and that's all that matters. So that'll be our Wednesday night top 10 songs from Fleetwood Mac. And then I may do a What's New. I'm going to actually try to do more than one of them, but for sure I'm going to do this one, Uriah Heep's new Chaos in Color, which came out a little over a month ago, I think now. So I want to do that before it gets too long in the tooth. And there's quite a few more on this list of albums I want to do, so I want to get to these. But, you know, time is, of course, a factor. You only have so much, and so you have to do what you can do. So those are the things I will be doing. And if I can throw another one in there, I will. The What's New one will likely come out on the Thursday or Friday. Last week it would have been on the Thursday, but because of the sickness or the headache that I went through, I wasn't able to do my series ones when I wanted to, so they had to take precedence. Also, and then again, now we also have the series, so we'll have 6 more episodes for the second round battle, featuring, well, actually one of them came out this morning, which was Fuzzy Duck and Frigid Pink. Surprising result from that. I wasn't sure which way I was going to go. These were 2 albums I liked quite a bit. I do like Fuzzy Duck a lot. It was difficult to put these 2 against each other, so if you haven't seen the video, please go back and watch it. It was hard to choose, I have to tell you that. So we have 5 more episodes this week. Rose Tattoo will face Orang Utan. Budgie will face Frank Frank Marino and his band. The next one will be Heaven versus Winterhawk. Mountain will face Warhorse, and Blue Murder will face the Golden Earring. Yeah, that should be an interesting battle there. And then we'll go on to the third round. By then, everything will be through. A couple other notes of interest. So the Psychedelic Snack. So I have 2 new shows that I'm planning on. Well, 2 new shows I want to add to the weekly roster. In actual fact, they may be 1 new show to the weekly roster and then 1 to a monthly roster. Because for me, I have basically 3 monthly roster shows at this point in time. The Halls, which comes out at the end of the month. And I have the random ones for the new release, the new What's New show, which come out randomly. Sometimes you might get 1 or 2 in a week. You might not get any for a week. So it's kind of a random show. It's a filler. I call it a filler show. It can go in when I have extra time to do stuff. And those kind of shows are good too, because you don't have to make sure you have something for this week. So I'm trying to do that with that show. I want one that's kind of a wandering show. I also have the Rock Legends ones, which generally can come out once a month, but in months when I have a series, that's a difficult one to do, because both the series and the Rock Legends one take a great deal of time to organize. So I would rather do one of them well than both of them poorly. And I suspect that that's a preference from most people. They would rather see something of interest rather than me just throw a video out there for the sake of throwing a video out there. I don't like to do that. I don't enjoy it, and so I know other people won't enjoy it either. So I try not to do that. So those are the three. The other new monthly show will probably be this live one, because I still have not figured out what is the best day to do this on. I have the Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday night shows are pretty set. I've got them pretty well organized in my head that they're going to happen on those days, and I'm good with it. The Friday night one was nice, but it interfered with another venue I have, another thing that I'm doing. And I also wanted to leave some of that time open for my baseball, which is, next to this, is my paramount thing. I have an online league I play in, and I have my board that I set up to play games from, and I'm eventually going to launch another YouTube site just for baseball only, and so I'm getting kind of prepared for that as well. But that, of course, probably won't happen as long as I'm working full time, and at this point, I don't see me retiring anytime soon. So at least not for at least another 3 years. My target was for when I was 62, and then, I would probably slow down, maybe work part-time in a place and then have more time for stuff. But who knows what's going to happen in our economics with the way the things are going. The government seems to not really get the idea that they need to do things a certain way. They don't seem to want to do that. But this isn't a political show, so I'm not going to get into that. So anyways, for the new show, for the two new ones, Psychedelic Snack, I'm looking to launch that on Saturday mornings. At very least, it'll come on Saturday. I'm thinking noon might be good, because it gives me time to get all my shit together in the morning and then put out the episode that I want to put out. And this will, of course, just be a pre-video one. The rock legends will, at some point, some of them will be pre-videoed, and others will be live streams. Depends on the song. I'm looking forward to doing this AC/DC one. I think it's going to go in 4 parts, which will take up the entire month of May. So we'll have one every week, an episode every week. The early years will probably take up at least 3 of those episodes. So just so I want people to get a kind of feel for what they're going to be getting here. So I'm probably going to do a very early episode on them before they became international superstars, just with their Australian stuff. So it'll be like an Australian episode, I guess. Then there'll be one on their initial international fame, their touring, the groups they played with, that kind of thing. Then there'll be the Back in Black era, which may incorporate the next couple of albums after that too, how they exploded on the international scene with that album and became like superstars. And then there'll be a later one on the issues they went through and how they're doing now and leading up to 2023. And my belief is that AC/DC at this point in time in 2023, to me, is the biggest rock band in the world. And I know I'm going to get arguments from people who think the Stones are still number one, but they're not. I'm sorry, they're not. They're not the biggest draw in the world. AC/DC to me is the biggest draw that's still out there touring. Now, if Pink Floyd was to come back, or if Led Zeppelin was to reincarnate and go back into the studio and produce an album and tour as a band, or maybe no, that won't happen, so I won't even go there. So right now, as far as I'm concerned, that is the number one rock band in the world. I'm not saying it's the number one draw in the world. Obviously, there's some modern day musicians. My daughter loves Miley Cyrus. I'm a fan of hers as well. I know that she doesn't fit on this show and has no business being on this show, but she may be the biggest draw in the world. Maybe. There's an argument to be made for her. But if you're just talking pure rock and rock genre, I don't think there's a band out there that draws or is as big an influence or has as big an interest or following as AC/DC of the current bands touring still. And there's still quite a few of them out there touring. Anyways, so I want to give full justice to AC/DC, who I think is one of the great bands of all time. And so I'm going to give them a whole month of Rock Legend episodes. I want to take care. And whether I do a good job or a bad job, I will promise you I will do the best job I can for this series. I've had people ask me about Kiss, because Kiss is also celebrating their 50th anniversary. If you'd asked me this a couple of years ago, it was a no-brainer. I was going to do them hands down because they were the first real favorite band of mine in the history of rock. But this band, I don't know, man. I don't know what people expect, but I'm just tired of listening to it. I just don't want to listen about the conflicts between the members, the conflicts between the band members and other band members, the conflicts between them and their fans, what their goals are or their lack of goals are, whether they're grubbers or whether they're not, whether they like each other or they don't. I don't care. I'm tired of it. And I think that if I was to do a Kiss one, I would probably have to listen to a lot of that, and I'm not sure I want to. I'm being honest here. I love Kiss. I love their music, especially their early stuff. Had a huge influence on me, but they've been browbeaten. They've been beaten to death. It's been beaten to death, and maybe it should just be stayed dead, and just give up. I haven't made up my mind about them. And sentimentally, yes, I probably will do something. I don't know if I want to do what I'm doing with AC/DC with them. I might just do an episode on them. I'm not sure. Yeah. The lovely world of Kiss, eh? Okay. So anyways, enough of that. Anything else I need to tell you? Let me think. I think the Battle of the Bands is going well. We will probably do more battles in the future. I'm thinking that it won't happen in the summertime just because of the nature of my work and the nature of the things I'm doing. It's too involved and too lengthy, so I think it'll probably be a kind of monthly thing, month by month type decision as we get to the winter. And I actually should have told Ben all this first, but I guess he's going to find out now, right? But maybe I'll send him an email before this comes out. I'm not sure. Anyways, it's just what has to be. It's just a matter of how much time I have and how much time I can contribute to this type of thing. And I don't like to do things in a haphazard way. I just think that's basically it kind of weakens my position, but it also is not a justice to people who spend time watching this stuff, which is important. Anyways, it's all about what's best for the bands, and we're moving forward in rock, so that's the next thing. I want to move forward by doing something that's promoting the newer bands. There's a lot of really, really good rock bands out there who don't get the kind of iconic stature that these classic rock bands get because of the music industry. Pure and simple. They don't get those. Rush is an example. They had 3 or 4 albums before they made 2112. They wouldn't get that today. There's no way. They want them to come out with the 2112 on the first album, and they don't want to pay for them to learn their craft. And this is common. Like a lot of bands were like that in the 70s, who first couple albums not so good, and then they blew up. Because they were given that time. You don't get that now. Now you learn your craft on your own, and when you're ready to make your superstar album, then we'll give you the chance. Yeah, like it's already too late. We've already done all the work. Why would we want to give you the money? I think it's just a new way of doing things now, and And the record industry is not the way to go, in my opinion, nor is the radio station, who at one time it was everything. If you were a rock band, you had to get on the radio station. You had to go out on tour. You had to get these radio disc jockeys to play your music to get popular. Now, they're not going to play it. It doesn't matter how good you are or how much you tour, they will not play anything new. If you don't have a song that's already part of the classic rock, you will not get played. And that is just sad. I'm sure there are some satellite radio stations that are different from this, and so I'm not going to include them in this part, but for the most part, the regular radio stations that every town has to listen to, they don't do this, because they're not mandated, and they're not, even the disc jockeys who I'm sure would like to play more modern stuff by different bands, just not going to do it. If it's not in their mandate, they won't be allowed. So anyways, this is the venue that helps these bands, and this is the route that I want to go. The classic bands have already made their billions and millions and trillions. The new bands going forward are going to be 10 years from now, they're going to be the bands that we have to listen to, because the classic ones are going to be gone. And we'll have used up all their albums and listened to them all. We need to have new stuff put forward and be given a venue to hear it. And that's where it's going to start, is here on YouTube. Already see lots of it, and that's good. Anyways, I didn't mean for that to be a rant, although it probably sounds like it was one. It's just this week and what's going on and my thoughts on things. For those of you who aren't aware, that's what this episode is about. What's going on the channel, what my thoughts are on what I'm doing, what's coming forward. And so for those of you who like to know what's going on ahead of time, this is it. If you're not interested in knowing that, just show me the episodes. I'm good with that as well. So anyways, I hope that you are having a good day. Spring is around the corner here in North America, and although you wouldn't know it, but it's going to be a good time, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot of different stuff this year. So I hope that you will continue to support me, and if you did like this video, please like and subscribe. That helps a lot. It's a good motivation to keep going, and eventually it'll help me maybe get some of this stuff without having to break the bank to do so. So anyways, take care and have yourself a good day. From Prog Monster, goodbye.